What is going on, guys? This is the mayor of TurboTown, Living Whale 22, welcoming you back to TurboTown. So grab a drink, some food, and enjoy the episode. Today, as you can see on screen, we're going to be playing both Arrow Blasters first, and we'll then head into Aldynes. This is what I swear I'm familiar with, but I can't remember where I played it, so... I know I've emulated it, probably. Could have been one of those that I had on my one of my mini consoles at one point. I will be getting a TurboGrafx Mini to replace my actual TurboGrafx 16 at some point, because my actual system is kind of knackered. It blew a capacitor. I don't know anybody that fixes those, so I'm going to try to just get a TurboGrafx Mini if I can. Anyway, maintenance out of the way. I want to say that most games on the TurboGrafx, like this one included, the graphics are a mixed bag. For this game, the graphics are really good. And the sound is kind of but it's kind of expected for a console that was from the early 90s, I should say, and made to compete with the Genesis and SNES. Initially, the console was meant to compete with the NES, but it came out too late. So they let it compete with the SNES. Anyway, the only controls you need are the D-pad, and if you're using a Super NES controller like me, B is going to be button 1 if you're running this on the Retron 5 as I am. We're going to play until we lose all of our continues, but I want you guys to let me know in the comments. Is this something do you have this game physically? Is it something you would want to pick up? Honestly, I recommend it. I don't know the price. Let me know that in the comments too. I'm not well versed on TurboGrafx games, but this is one if I saw Retropalooza and I had a working TurboGrafx, I wouldn't hesitate to pick it up now that I played it. I mean, knowing that this is the console, of course you have to have the CD add-on for it that has my favorite Castlevania game. I definitely pick it up. Phase 1 passed. Yeah, we're going to play through another phase and then we'll go to the next game. The Mechanized Cave. So yeah, this level's visuals, it's supposed to be a cave, but I don't mean to be disgusting, but why does the top parts look like boogers? It looks like snot. It looks like something that was supposed to be in Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure on the Genesis, but didn't quite make it. This is not what a cave looks like. If those are supposed to be stalactites at the top, they're the wrong color. But again, definitely go out and pick this one up. Now we switch to another... What is this? This is definitely not what a cave should look like. I think they literally should have probably redrawn this part of the cave. It looks like you'd see something in that awful Stryder remake for the new consoles that came out months ago. It came out about like 5 or 6 years ago, I think. Anyway, we have 0 credits left, so we're gonna finish this level, and then we're gonna head over to Aldynes. Oh, looks like we're almost finished. I keep dying, but there's no way to... Game over. Alright, so now we're going to head on over to Aldynes. Reset it. Wait, what happened? Did it reset? It's about to, yeah. I do warn you, this is probably going to be a short episode. I'm going to see if I can get at least 10 minutes in, because that last segment lasted less time than I thought it would. Anyway, again, the controls are going to be the same as they were in Aero Blasters, except you can't, unlike in Aero Blasters, you can't hold down button 1 or B in this case to shoot. You can collect these little options to power up your weapons as well. This game's graphics is... Basically, graphically, this is what I said earlier. It's a mix. These games are a mixed bag of graphics. This is not very good. Graphically, it's not very good. It's no Blazing Lasers graphically. And if you're wondering what I mean, I've covered Blazing Lasers already here in TurboTown, so go take a look at that episode. Of course, right after you watch this one, honestly. Now, I have actually done a little revamping on the TurboTown format. It's going to be 2 games an episode this time instead of the usual 1. We started that last episode, actually. Where it was Parasol Stars and... what was... I'll go look and see what it was before, but... Go take a look. I'm going to play until I die 3 times, or until I complete the level. Well, there's 2 already. I wish it would tell you how many continues you have left. I think you may have infinite continues, which this... If that's the case, I can stretch this out to 10 minutes pretty easily. Even though I'm terrible at this. Or I'll just throw in a 3rd shooter. It's supposed to be Aldynes and Arizon. But I'll just make this a series of shooters. And I'm going to play 1 more round just to show y'all what game this is. What this is like, so it's difficult, as you can see with how much I'm dying here. You know what? As a bonus, because I need the extra time, shooters part of 1, I'm going to include Blazing Lasers, even though I've already covered it. So, but do I recommend Aldynes? No, not really. It's a little too difficult. The music isn't that great, and neither is the gameplay itself. I can't comment on 2-button controls, though. Bonus! Blazing Lasers, everybody. Now, this game, I'm going to warn you, is the definition of bullet hell. It can be. Unlike Aldynes, which is definitely bullet hell in later stages. Now remember, I have not played this in ages, but you can just hold down button 1 to shoot, and that makes it easier. You can grab these little... The power-ups will actually... That one slowed me down, which is what I was wanting. Thanks, game. Anyway, you can just sit here and shoot. Some of these will give you power-ups. Most of them will. Let's grab that. And the power-ups do different things. Like one's a speed up, I grabbed a speed down earlier, which is what I was wanting. And the voice, I can barely hear the voice, but normally it'll tell you what each one does. And the gems, I believe those might be health power. No, they're actually power-ups to your laser, it looks like. Well, this game is called Blazing Lasers. The music is fire. This is great music, folks. Fits the game. It's a space shooter. It's supposed to have space shootery music, and it does. Easily, this is one that I'd actually recommend going to pick up because it's easily the best shooter on the TurboGrafx 16. Yeah, if I have to, since I'm going to install a new feature where we rank the games we've played from worst to best. The worst one, I'm going to have to say, is Aldynes, because it's just too hard for a space shooter, and because I'm not a fan of the graphics. The mid-level shooter is going to be Aero Blasters, and of course this takes the cake as the best one. This has everything going for it. The difficulty's just right. The music is amazing. The graphics are great. And of course, the gameplay is what a space shooter should be. And with that, we're going to fight the final boss here. Or the first boss, anyway. We have 2 lives remaining. We'll get those depleted and then I will end the episode. But out of the 3 that we've covered, don't go seeking out Aldynes. Do seek out Arrow Blasters and definitely seek out this one. And remember to join me next week. I'm going to be taking a look at 3 more games on the console. And you'll have to find out you'll have to tune in next week to find out what those are going to be. Now, as for other shows, Friday Night Gladiators is going to be monthly. That's a live stream anyway, so I'm probably just going to rename it American Gladiators and just put it on when I can instead of doing it Fridays. So I want to keep that a live stream like I said. So okay, so we have a few more lives. I believe it's every 50,000 points you get another life, or it's every 25,000, I can't remember which. Button 2 will deplete a looks like a grenade of sorts. I would be careful because you have a limited number of them. Alright, so there you have it, everybody. Since I've given my review, I'm just going to go ahead and play the game. Let you guys enjoy watching me play this game. The difficulty for this game, though, I'm going to rank them by difficulty as well. I'd say Arrow Blasters is the easiest. Then we have a tie for the hardest with Aldynes and this one. This one, with Blazing Lasers, this one barely edging out Aldynes. But again, to review. Worst game, Aldynes. Middle of the road, Arrow Blasters. Best one is this one. Okay, so we're down to our last and final life. And that'll be it for this week's episode of TurboTown, everybody. Wait, no, it won't. We have one more life. False alarm. Yeah, now that's it, I believe. And that will, for real this time, that'll do it for this episode of TurboTown. This has been Riveting Whale 22. You guys have been amazing. And join me next week for more TurboTown. Bye, everyone.